Ever wonder where those sketchy online deals come from? The answer? China. Behind every fake store and disappointing package is a billion-dollar scam machine, and you could be next. You spot a killer deal online. Click, buy, wait. Weeks later, your dream hoodie arrives. Cheap, weird, nothing like the photos. You've just been scammed, like millions of others. This isn't just bad luck. It's a global scam industry worth billions, and most roads lead straight to China. Today's China is a manufacturing superpower, fast, digital, and ready to ship anything, anywhere. But that speed and scale? It's perfect for scammers too. In a world obsessed with convenience, scammers can reach anyone, anywhere, in seconds. Set up a fake store, cash in, disappear. So, how did online shopping turn into a scam minefield? And how did China become the epicenter? Let's pull back the curtain on the global scam industry and show you how to avoid being its next victim. Shenzhen, a city that transformed from a fishing village to the world's electronics capital in just a few decades. If you own a smartphone or any modern gadget, odds are it was made here. Shenzhen is the global hub for electronics manufacturing and rapid innovation. This city is the face of China's economic rise. In one generation it went from rice paddies to skyscrapers, from farmland to a tech metropolis. 40 years ago it was a quiet fishing village. Today it's a mega city packed with factories, tech parks, and neon-lit malls. Shenzhen produces everything: iPhones, laptops, headphones, and endless gadgets. Its factories run non-stop, powering the world's tech supply chain. It's also a hotspot for inventors. Here ideas move from sketch to prototype to product in weeks, thanks to a dense network of engineers and suppliers. But this speed and scale make copying easy. The same factories that build the latest tech can instantly produce convincing fakes. Need a fake designer bag? Shenzhen delivers, overnight. If it exists, someone here can copy it. Even luxury watches are cloned so well that experts struggle to spot the difference. The markets are flooded with high-quality replicas. Shenzhen's markets mix real and fake, creating a confusing landscape. Innovation and imitation blur together, fueled by loose regulations and easy access to tech. This is a gray market, legitimate business and shady deals side by side. Everyone from small hustlers to big players is involved. Copying wasn't always criminal, it was survival and opportunity in a hyper-competitive city. For many it was just business. But this environment, where profit trumped ethics, set the stage for a global scam industry. As Shenzhen's tech reputation soared, so did its darker side. The city became the epicenter for sophisticated scams, impacting the world. Enter the internet, specifically the rise of e-commerce. Suddenly those Shenzhen factories had a direct line to customers worldwide. No more middlemen, no more pesky regulations, just pure, unadulterated access to global markets. Platforms like Alibaba, AliExpress, and later even Amazon and eBay became virtual bazaars. And while these platforms connected buyers and sellers in unprecedented ways, they also inadvertently provided cover for scammers. Remember, this was the Wild West of e-commerce. Regulation was playing catch-up. Platforms were growing faster than a bamboo forest in spring. And consumers? We were blinded by the allure of cheap deals, often throwing caution, and honestly, common sense, to the wind. This created a breeding ground for scams of all shapes and sizes. From those too-good-to-be-true product listings to sophisticated phishing schemes, the internet became a scammer's paradise. And guess who was perfectly positioned to take advantage? Let's talk dropshipping. Remember those Facebook ads for trendy products promising ridiculous discounts? That's dropshipping. Essentially, you're buying from a middleman who buys from, you guessed it, China. The problem? Sometimes the product never arrives, or it's a cheap knockoff, and good luck getting your money back. Dropshipping, while not inherently a scam, became a favorite tool for shady operators, often exploiting that China-to-consumer pipeline. Then there's the counterfeit kingdom: luxury goods, electronics, even pharmaceuticals. If it exists, China probably has a fake version of it, and with e-commerce, these fakes flooded the global market. We're not talking about harmless imitations here. We're talking about products that fall apart, pose safety risks, and cost the global economy billions. And the ease with which these goods were produced and shipped from China, well, that just added fuel to the fire. Here's the thing about China. It's a country that has always been a master of reinvention, a place where the old and the new collide in fascinating ways. Walk down the streets of any major city, and you'll see centuries-old traditions blending seamlessly with cutting-edge technology. But beneath this surface, there's a cultural thread that runs deep, one that has shaped the way China interacts with the world, especially when it comes to the idea of imitation. It's a culture steeped in imitation. From the bustling markets filled with look-alike designer goods to factories churning out near-perfect replicas of the latest gadgets, copying is everywhere. But to truly understand why, you have to look at the roots of this phenomenon. For centuries, copying was seen as a form of flattery, a way to learn and improve. In traditional Chinese art and calligraphy, students would spend years painstakingly replicating the works of masters, believing that true creativity could only be achieved after mastering imitation. This wasn't just accepted, it was celebrated, a mark of respect and dedication. This philosophy extended far beyond art. In business, architecture, and even cuisine, the idea of borrowing and building upon what came before was seen as a smart, practical approach. It was about survival, adaptation, and ultimately success. But in the digital age, this cultural quirk took on a darker tone. The internet changed everything, making it easier than ever to copy not just ideas, but entire products, brands, and even identities, often with just a few clicks. See, when you combine this cultural acceptance of copying with the ease of manufacturing and the anonymity of the internet, you get a recipe for disaster. Suddenly, anyone with a laptop and a bit of know-how could replicate a product, launch a fake website, or impersonate a trusted brand. Suddenly, it's not just about copying designs, it's about blurring the line between what's real and what's fake. The stakes are higher, and the consequences can be devastating, not just for companies but for everyday people around the world. It's about copying entire business models, strategies, and even the very way companies operate. Entrepreneurs and tech startups in China have become experts at reverse engineering not just products but entire systems, often outpacing the originals in speed and scale. Websites, apps, even identities, nothing is off limits. Think about it. The same skills that once helped students master calligraphy are now being used to clone websites, mimic user interfaces, and create convincing digital doppelgangers. You get an email from your bank asking you to update your information. It looks official, the logo is perfect, and the language is spot on. But something feels off. It looks legit, feels legit. But it's not. It's a phishing scam, designed to trick you into handing over your most sensitive information. And behind many of these scams are networks of skilled operators who have perfected the art of digital deception. And chances are the brains behind it are using techniques honed in China's copycat culture. These aren't just lone hackers, they're part of sophisticated organizations that treat online fraud like a business, complete with research, development, and even customer support. This isn't to say that all Chinese businesses are scams, that's simply not true. In fact, many Chinese companies are at the forefront of innovation, creating products and services that are changing the world for the better. But it's important to understand how this cultural context, combined with rapid technological growth, global connectivity, and sometimes lax enforcement, contributed to the global rise of online deception. The story of imitation in China is complex. It's about tradition, adaptation, and sometimes exploitation. And in our hyper-connected world, its impact is felt far beyond China's borders. So, how can you protect yourself from these kinds of scams? Here are a few practical tips to keep you safe online. First, always double-check the sender of any suspicious email or message. Look for small errors in the address or unusual requests. If something feels off, trust your instincts. Second, never click on links or download attachments from unknown sources. When in doubt, go directly to the official website by typing the address yourself. Third, use strong, unique passwords for each of your accounts, and enable two-factor authentication whenever possible. This adds an extra layer of security. And finally, keep your devices and software up to date. Many scams exploit outdated systems, so regular updates can make a big difference. Remember, while scams are becoming more sophisticated, you have the power to stay one step ahead. Stay alert, stay informed, and don't be afraid to ask questions or seek help if something doesn't seem right. The internet is an incredible tool, and with a little caution you can enjoy all it has to offer, safely.